Time?
Yeah.
So-
last time I was like,
Does it on off?
green light, red light,
Green light.
green
Yeah.
light, red light.
Yeah, this time it went instantly on. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hello, everybody. Thank you if you're watching live. Thank you if you are listening. We love you.
And watching post.
Yes,
Story.
and replays as well. Absolutely.
Let's get started. Okay, I messed up.
This is very appropriate for
So,
our topic
this
of
is
today.
Totally appropriate.
Perfect.
Totally appropriate for the topic.
Perfect for our topic of today. So
Go ahead. No. Go ahead and explain the
Oh, yeah,
topic.
do you want me to do the song? Ding, ding, ding,
No,
ding, ding.
that's-
Today we're going to talk about perfectionism and how
Yeah, there it is.
perfectionism can keep us from doing the things we want to do, and some comparisons to other things that, we'll get into it. But that was perfect. Perfect start. Hello, friends.
Welcome to the Couple Shift.
I'm Maria Leandra.
And I'm Jules.
And we are a wife team on a mission to shift the way we live our lives and co-create what really matters.
We don't always agree, but together we're figuring it out.
Thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here.
I'm so glad that happened, though.
We are so figuring it out.
I'm so glad that happened. That's too funny. So yeah, we're talking about perfectionism.
Mhm.
and I guess how our experience of it, and I'm sure everybody goes through that of like thinking about how they're looking to the rest of the world, whatever it is that you get through like social media or whatever they want to, depending on what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I brought it up was because we were watching The Mandalorian on Friday, which I'm sure that's nothing like unknown because people are kind of obsessed with it, right? Would you say? No?
I don't know where you're going with this.
That people watch it. It's
Yeah,
a popular
but
show. Whatever.
No, I
The
know,
point is,
but I'd say it's not.
it's a
unknown.
popular show, well funded.
Oh yes, they're very well funded.
Okay. And after the episode aired, it was a great episode, whatever. A lot of stuff. Every time these episodes come out, there are always people that like break them down, really like frame by frame. There's always fans that are breaking them down frame by frame. And in this recent episode, they broke it down. There's a lot of nods to the old Star Wars movies, or even just jokes or memes or whatever the case. But what also happened was they did a really poor editing job this time. And okay, let me rephrase that. Not a really poor editing job, but they made some simple mishaps. For example, there's an image where you can see, if you pause it at the right time, where you will actually see a guy in jeans like hiding behind a wall. You see his arm and you see his leg. And clearly he's working on the stage or whatever it was, and just didn't get out of the frame. And then the editor didn't even realize it, and they just threw it out there and put it out there. And then there was another sequence where Gina Carano's character rolls, I guess in like an action sequence, and she rolls onto a mat, and like clearly like the stunt mat, so she doesn't hurt her back or something, right? And you can clearly see this foam mat on the shot. So it clearly wasn't edited correctly, or the filming angle, whatever it was. Point is, it got through there. So even at the top levels of, what's the word I'm looking for?
But yeah, the even Hollywood and
the point is where you think perfectionism, like everything has to be exact,
and they have the resources,
and they're
super
and they're
professional,
right. It's not like some mom and pop like us, right? And
literally mom and pop,
right? You see, they're messing up. They're making those mistakes.
Yeah.
They're not perfect. And it's for those who are struggling to throw something out there. I mean, I've said this before. It's just you got to just do it, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't worry about those things. I mean, this is the beginning of this episode. It's a perfect example. Like, who cares? I forgot to connect something. And then I pressed something and it made a noise and it cut the. So it's but I think a lot of us struggle with it, and sometimes it's perfectionism in like the obvious of like, oh, I want to put something up, like I want to
Mhm.
put something on social media, or I want to put a picture up, a video up, and I have to get the right angle and all this BS
Yeah.
and all this stuff, and we stress ourselves out about that kind of stuff. But it can also be just in our daily lives of
Mhm.
like I expect, and it goes back to expectations, I guess, right?
Mhm. Which we
Like,
talked about last episode.
which we
It was
talked about,
awesome.
yeah.
Go check that one out.
Right. But I think they go hand in hand, the thinking
Mhm.
of expectations and perfectionism.
Yeah.
Right?
Completely.
So it's like I want to say this and it's going to come out perfect, and it never does.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am a perfect example of that, where it's like I have an idea in my head of what I want to say to somebody or to a group of people, either it being from what I'm going through or just whatever general.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it comes out is not what I was intending at
Mhm.
times. But you know, stressing myself out about trying to get the message out exactly the way it is, exactly the way I think I need to say it is, you know, what happened? Okay. I switched shots. What was I saying? Now you got me all flustered when you get stood up. Doesn't come out exactly, but the point that I try to get is made, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the goal, I think, right? The
Yeah.
intention is made, even if it's not perfect. But if my intentions are if I accomplish my intentions, I'm happy.
Yeah. And it's like definitely perfectionism and expectations for sure go hand in hand. And when we like take the foot off the gas pedal of expectations or how we think something's supposed to be,
Yeah.
then it like releases a pressure valve so that we can actually
Totally
say, express, know that, this probably won't come out perfect. And I find that the best kind of antidote for that is to just call it out at the onset. So, and I coach my clients on this a lot because, the women that I'm coaching are women who are, who do aspire to have some degree of visibility because of the nature of the businesses they're building. They're building platform, like, they're creating something that's meant to help other people. So they must be in a space of like showing up on video or podcasts or writing emails. And there's always that, it grips us. And I remember like agonizing over just posting like one thing on social media or one little video or one, and it was like, just, oh, I got to get it just right. And what am I going to say and say the right thing? And that just consumes so much time and energy. And it's agonizing.
Yeah.
Is the word. Like agonizing.
Agonizing.
The more I've taken the pressure valve off of that, it's like freedom. And a lot of that has to do with dissolving.
Speaking of freedom, can you get the dog wanted to bring Skylar's mask? I don't know where she's finding this stuff.
I think this one probably fell when we took it out of the.
Okay.
So now I have
she took a
we
sock?
have a collection. You want to?
Oh, another sock.
Well, this is the one she'd taken before. So
there it is.
You know
it's weird though with the clothes and stuff. She
Mhm.
just takes it. She doesn't shred it. She takes it and holds it in her mouth.
She just
and
wants
then,
attention.
and looks at you like, hey.
This is it. This is just attention. She's not even doing it because she's like, oh, I want to shred this.
Nova,
She's going out. It's like, what? Let me see what else I can find.
you get over
Hold
here.
on, guys. Hold on.
And
guys.
you sit down here, little punk.
I gotta find something else. So the more I've personally dissolved that
Yeah.
edge of it's got to be a certain way, and it comes down to our fear of external judgment, our fear of what other people will say, think, do, and I'm like, listen, I have been curing myself, like consciously curing myself and healing myself from that because I've noticed how detrimental and how just, again, I'm going to use the word agonizing and how pervasive it is. This is something that afflicts so many people.
Pervasive.
And it's really something that keeps you from your purpose. Like I've had this thing where,
yeah, I think that's the main block for most people, right? It's the thing that shuts everybody down.
And
from doing something.
I almost did a workshop on this whole concept of from perfectionism to purpose, because I really think perfectionism is probably the number one thing that keeps you from fully being in purpose and living on purpose. Whether we're talking about your career calling or we're talking about having honest conversations with the people around you, it's that thing of, wow, if this isn't perfect, whatever that is, then that actually is the thing that holds us back the most.
Yeah.
So imagine living in a world where we are no longer plagued by that.
In a world.
How freeing would that be? In a world where,
perfectionism is not important.
Yeah. And you know where it starts for a lot of us is cutting other people some slack, because we tend to be so, we can be so rigid about even being in judgment of other people, or, you know, whatever they are. People we know or professionals. Bless you, darling.
Sorry.
That was so funny sounding.
I was trying to get out of it and my nose was like, nope.
Don't ever get out of sneezes. I don't know why anybody ever wants to get out of a sneeze. It's one of the most delicious things you can do.
I don't think so.
Unless you're standing in the middle of Target during, like, you know, a pandemic. Then you
so
wanna,
now, but we're not in Target, but yes.
I know, but when you're at your home, just let it rip.
Definitely let it rip.
Yes. But I'm ching. So yeah, this is a topic that I'm super passionate about because it has been a big one for me for like a lifelong journey. And I find myself, it's really cool because I find myself feeling freer and freer and freer. Like, wow, this is what it feels like.
In the sense of like you're not as stressed out of posting something, or you're not as stressed out of just or saying something.
Yes. Whatever. Yes. And you gotta just, the way to cure yourself.
Yeah, no, I feel that from you a lot. Yeah.
Is to talk about it and to actually do stuff. Like, this is why I'm so huge on coaching on momentum, building momentum, trying things out, having a beginner mindset, knowing that when we try things out, it's like a laboratory.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have to expect things to be a certain way, because I always use this metaphor, which lands with everybody that I mention it to. It's like you're baking a cake, and it's a difference between you're baking a cake and, you know, just you in the kitchen, and then you want to
Sorry, honey.
Did she bring something else?
She brought another mask.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna go find out where she's getting this stuff. Continue.
Okay. So mask number 2.
I don't get it.
Let's add to the collection. So, like, you're baking a cake.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Music is going on now.
What? Oh, I accidentally. Did it stop?
Yes.
I dropped my headphones on.
This is. It's almost as if we rehearsed all this to bring you the episode all about perfectionism. So it's like let me go back to my cake. It's like you're baking a cake, and you're doing it in the comfort of your kitchen, but like hidden, right? And then all of a sudden you bring everybody to experience this cake, and it's like, ta-da, here it is. And it's just baked perfectly and frosted perfectly. And then there's this pressure about the friggin' cake, right? And then everybody will still have their own idea and impression about the cake. Some people will like it, some people won't like it. You know, it's not your job to make something that everybody will appreciate. And it builds a lot of pressure. Whereas the difference is when you're looking at life like an experiment, like a laboratory, it's like you're baking a cake in front of other people, and you're okay with, you know, understanding you have an intention and an expertise that you're sharing, right? But you're okay with having it be a process. Are you okay?
I am, as my microphone is just acting up.
Oh, I see some jittery motions over there.
It's getting annoyed with it. It just spins on its own. But go on, sorry.
So you're doing this in front of other people.
Yeah.
You're lessening the edge of, I'm not going to reveal it until it's perfect.
Right.
That's I think the old school way of looking at creation. And in the new paradigms of what we're moving into, it's more about this kind of like out in the open, you know, kind of vibe.
It's okay. She was eating something. I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, I totally agree with you. And by the way, they weren't on the floor. this little punk is jumping up onto the table and taking him down. Because I walked over there and I was like,
Stop it.
no wonder
I know.
she's getting
I was
it.
like, I didn't drop anything. I put
No, they
everything
weren't
on the
dropped.
table.
She's standing up on the table, takes because we had took some clothes out of the laundry and we put it on the table, and she jumped up and took the top one, and then a couple of them fell. And so that's why she's been coming in. But the funny thing is that she comes in, it's like, hey guys, I know I'm not supposed to have this, but here you go. What do you want to do with this? You want to put this mask on for me? It's like, what are you doing?
Oh my god, we should take a picture of that. That'd be cute.
With her
Both
with
of
the
them
mask.
wearing masks.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to get it on her in the first place. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of masks,
Yeah.
you want to talk about what happened at the wharf in Fort Lauderdale?
Oh my gosh, man, what is wrong with people? So in Fort Lauderdale, there's a restaurant that opened up, and literally one of the pictures
fully opened up, like
one of the pictures was like pre-COVID, and you're like, oh, okay,
jam packed,
jammed,
not a mask,
not a
as
mask
far
in
as the
sight.
eye can see.
It's like whatever.
I know. It's like
well, we got possibly three vaccines that look promising. So we'll see. One day, soon enough, we'll get back to some sort of normalcy. But I don't think we should get back to a normalcy. I don't think we should necessarily be like, oh, we just wanted to go back the way it was, and that's it. You know, we should really acknowledge this time and understand it, and look at the positives that we can find out of it. I know it's difficult, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into a whole spiel about that.
Yeah, no. So, perfectionism.
Yeah. I mean, this is a perfect example. I the less that you care about this kind of stuff, the less you care of how perfect something's supposed to look or supposed to be, or think that there is a guideline on what it is supposed to be, the more comfortable you feel with yourself.
Let me ask you, what do you think about the concept of excellence versus perfectionism?
I can see how people can confuse the two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not black and white, right? It's because it all depends on,
like, what does excellence mean to you?
You're a master at something. You've mastered it at the highest of levels.
Really?
Sorry.
So
Spam.
would you consider that you have a degree of like
do you
you
mean?
aspire for excellence when you
Right.
do the things you do for this podcast, for
Okay,
example?
no, but it doesn't apply. So let's say if it doesn't necessarily work in that situation.
Of course. Okay. Well, this is a clear example of having two different viewpoints on something.
What do you
Because
mean?
excellence is not having complete mastery of something. That's mastery, right? Excellence is.
But I wouldn't say excellence is perfection.
It's not. That's
Okay.
why I said
But it
excellence
can
versus
be in
perfectionism.
But it can be in certain situations. Like
No.
well, can I explain why?
Okay.
Can I give you you asked me the question and you're already telling me I can't have this opinion. Let's delve into that.
Don't change. No, you're not doing that.
I'm not changing the subject. Sorry, but I'm just saying you asked me the question and I'm giving you an answer, and your answer is no. Like, think about that.
Touche.
Think about that. You asked me the
Continue.
question. Can I? Okay. So, in sports, excellence and perfectionism actually goes hand in hand, because for example, in baseball, let's say a pitcher. All right, there are a lot of pitchers that can throw over 100 miles an hour. Okay,
Mhm.
there are many pitchers that can. However, just because you can throw over 100 miles an hour doesn't mean you're going to go to the majors and you're going to be an elite pitcher and you're going to be an all pro in that sense, right?
Mhm.
It's about your consistency, your
Mhm.
location, and that is in itself is perfectionism. Because if you throw that pitch and it's over the middle, we're talking about sometimes in some cases inches a difference in where the pitch location is, where the ball's thrown at, right? That could mean either a strikeout or a home run. So in that case,
So you're saying a pitcher should strive for perfectionism versus excellence.
well, in his,
It's not
he's-
perfectionism is impossible.
of course, perfectionism is impossible, but the closer you get to it, and especially in baseball, where you're considered elite as a baseball as a hitter, hitting only 30% of the times you go up to a bat. So that's not perfect, but they're striving for. I'm always for the in the case of the pitcher that I was saying, they're always
Mhm.
striving to hit that location perfectly. The catcher tells them to pitch it outside. The catcher tells them to do this, that, whatever the case. So they're striving to get to that, and the closer they get to that, it shows how amazing the ones that get the closest to that are the ones I guess that have achieved that excellence.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna disagree with me, but do you understand what I'm
No,
trying to say?
because I think you're talking more about precision.
What's going on over there?
Random
Spam.
spam callers.
Like constantly.
There
it is.
Exactly.
Okay.
I
so
think that's more about precision.
It is
because-
precision, but I guess there's a reason why it's the one of the holy grails in a baseball game is for a pitcher to throw a perfect game.
Yeah. No, I thought about that
So-
when I said perfectionism is impossible. And I'm like, well, there is such a thing as a perfect game.
Yeah.
Which is
And
like
even
you don't
in
get
that-
any.
Okay, so in a
Nobody-
perfect game, there's no errors, there's no hits,
Mhm.
no runs allowed, right? And the
Mhm.
pitcher, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same pitcher, but obviously the team wins. What does she get?
The Wi-Fi cable, the LAN cable. No, wait, she has it. She has it on her neck.
Oh,
She's
great.
wearing it like a
Awesome.
necklace. There it is. You got it. You got it. You got it. Oh boy. Now she's like,
Now I have my foot on her because she's being a punk. Yeah.
she's loving it.
Yeah. Okay,
She's
so
like, you're gonna do this all day long, Dad.
yeah, but and in football, it's yeah, you obviously can't. I think professional players strive for that perfection. Like every play they go out, a lot of them, especially the elite, the top of the level.
Mm-hmm.
Every play they go out, like they're gonna go. I mean, again, this is not all players, but they go out there trying to succeed, to accomplish their goal. So like in basketball, for shooting, they're not just throwing it up there like, yeah, I'm gonna miss this one, I don't care. They're gonna attempt to. They're thinking in their head that it may be a difficult shot or whatever the case, but their goal is they're striving to make everything that they shoot, right?
But how does that work mindset wise? When a player, instead of shooting for excellence,
Well,
is shooting
here's
for
the thing.
perfectionism,
Right,
And then
but they
is
don't-
faced with failure because he wasn't perfect.
Okay,
and
okay.
then-
So the best players have a short-term memory. Don't have short-term memory. Oh,
they
wait,
do or they don't.
they don't. They forget about what happened in the past play. So they're
Okay.
not concerned. So every moment is the
new
moment. Is a new moment.
New moment.
That's yeah. They acknowledge what they made if they made mistakes early on or something like that, and they try to learn from that. But they're not dwelling on I missed that shot. If I just did this, the best.
Mm.
Even though there's still players that do have regrets of certain things, sure. But a lot of them will even say, even in losses, be like, I don't regret what I did. That was a choice that I made, and I
Mhm.
accept the.
That to me sounds like you're talking more about excellence rather than perfectionism.
Okay. So then I'm saying the perfectionism is striving is to accomplish. Is if I'm going up to bat, I'm going for a hit, or I'm gonna in baseball, I'm gonna try to hit it. I'm gonna try to do whatever it is, whatever the coach wants me to do. If it's a
Mhm.
sacrifice bunt, I want to make sure I do it and move the runner over, whatever. If it's in football and whatever the play is designed for, I want to make sure the goal is to be perfect through that blocking schemes. Every player does his job and will accomplish this goal, whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
That is striving for perfectionism, isn't it? Because especially in this day and age, maybe in the past, where the level of difficulty in professional sports nowadays is far beyond what it was in the past. I think in certain sports in particular too.
Mm-hmm.
There's less room for error. Like you can look up like some of the most Jesus, I blanked out. You can look up some of the highlight reels of some of the plays in the NFL where the quarterback has to pass it into like the spacing of like there's no spacing at all between the defense and the player covering the receiver, whatever the case. And the ball has to be thrown perfectly. They always say it even in the commentary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so that had to have been done perfectly.
So then perfectionism is arbitrary. So then even the premise of our conversation today.
But that's in sports.
But what makes an athlete, like, why do we expect perfectionism there and then not perfectionism with the people from The Mandalorian? or our podcast when we start.
But we do expect it, so that's why they make fun of it. And the thing is, what we're saying is, like, you can't do that. Like, it's unrealistic. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, we're expecting Hollywood, in the sense, to have to make this look for the episode or the show or the movie to be done perfectly, when in fact it's BS. You can't do that. I'm sure almost every movie that's ever come out has had an error where it was like, ooh, we weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, that boom mic shows up in the shot. Oh, why is his shirt wet? And then in the next scene it's dry, and then the next scene it's wet, and the next scene it's dry.
All these, but I didn't catch them in The Mandalorian this time.
Have you seen the pictures yet, or no? I haven't showed you.
I looked them up.
I'll
earlier,
show it to you.
But
it's hilarious.
I couldn't.
They already made like a toy, like a figurine for Star Wars of guy in jeans hiding in the corner. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Oh, we lost
Oh yeah, we did.
It looks like I lost it. But anyways, we can. The goal shouldn't be to strive for perfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
The goal should be to strive. What you're saying is to strive for excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. And I'm saying I agree with you. Having said that, sometimes in certain situations, like in sports, to strive for excellence is to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
The closer you are to...
You can't really strive. Well, that's the thing is in sports, it's like your margin of error is small.
It's
very
tiny.
small.
So that's why I'm saying you have to be almost perfect.
Yeah.
Because the competition's so high.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case. But that doesn't apply to everything in life.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Oh, yeah?
Great. I'm just staring at your handsome face.
Well, on that note.
And your tattoo that I love so much.
How are you staring at it? It's hidden. Well, that's not hidden.
Hidden where? It's right there in front of me. It's in my direct
line of sight. It's in your direct line of sight. Because we both when we talk, we always are shifted to this way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shifted to it because I'm looking at the monitor and doing things. But it's just...
I know, and I'm over here because I'm like looking at
you. You're looking at the side of my head, yeah.
I'm excited because we have no idea what our new setup is going to look like.
Yes, oh, that's the other thing. So next week, or this week, we don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Coming up soon. So, yeah, we'll... a little announcement probably. We may be not on the air Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, or we'll see the next week or two.
Pre-record a couple things.
Maybe.
Too.
We'll see.
Or just take a hiatus.
We might just take a hiatus. I don't know. No, we'll probably get something out, but I don't know if it will be 3 times a week or something.
Yeah.
So, anyways, as usual, baby, I love you.
I love you, my darling.
It's always a fun episode when it's all over the place,
I'm
right?
striving for excellence in our relationship. Not perfection.
Make sure to rate, review, subscribe. Love you.
Love you. Bye.